Oh my god, we have so much we gotta talk about in this video. What's up, idols? It's TC Lesson 3. Welcome back to my channel. So, I would think that most people are pretty aware of the mass violent incidents that happen in America related to guns on a pretty much daily basis at this point, let's be honest. And while random acts of violence and terror can happen everywhere and do happen everywhere all the time, we're talking about Korea right now. Before we jump in this video, you guys might want to turn on notifications or subscribe if you're not, because the next video later this week is going to be a story time from a Korean guy's perspective on dating foreigners. A lot of you guys, myself included, have been waiting to hear from a guy's perspective, a guy's views on dating foreigners in Korea. My audience is 90% women, so this is a rare opportunity and I'm very excited to tell you guys his story. So yeah, stay tuned, be on the lookout, don't miss that video. Anyway, back to this video. Every time I get excited about going back to Korea, or when I'm enjoying my life in Korea and I'm reading about random violent acts from home in America, for example, I always felt this sense of gratitude, and I was very lucky, like, to feel safe. Like, I could go out in a crowd and not worry about anything happening to me because I'm at the wrong place at the wrong time. Not to say I let my guard down or anything, but I had a lot more of a worry-free environment as far as my safety went. It has been one of the safest countries in the world. Notice I'm using a lot of past tense. Not saying that Korea is not safe anymore, but it is getting worse. I'm sure many of you guys are aware of the random knife incidents that have been going on in Korea for the past couple of weeks. I think the incidents we're about to cover in this video is a part of a much greater discussion that needs to be had. So first, we're gonna go over the incidents in detail to tell you guys what happened, get you all caught up on what's been going on, some of the fallout, you know, the way people in the public are responding to this, and a bit of why I think these incidents are happening. Now, for those of you who don't know, let's get everyone all caught up on what incidents I'm talking about. The first stabbing spree happened in Shillim-dong, Seoul on Friday, July 21st. That attack resulted in one person being unalived and 3 people being injured, according to police. The incident took place near Shillim Station in Gwanak-gu in the early afternoon. Authorities received reports on the incident around 2:09 p.m., saying that an individual had stabbed multiple people near the station's exit 4 before fleeing. Police apprehended the assailant at the scene at 2:20 p.m. The suspect was reported to be a Korean man in his 30s with 17 prior criminal incidents on his records. This is another thing that I want you guys to keep in mind, because we're going to delve more into this. We're going to talk about this more a lot later in the video. The fact that Korea is pretty soft on their sentencing and criminal punishment. He said he committed these crimes because life was hard. This is another thing I really want you guys to keep in mind and let this sit in your mind for a little bit, because we're going to talk about that sentiment, that mental note, that reason more in depth a bit later in this video. The second incident happened on Thursday, August 3rd, when a man in his early 20s, surnamed Che, rammed his vehicle into pedestrians on the pavement outside of a department store in Bundang. After that, he attacked shoppers with a knife inside the store, which is connected to the nearby Sohyun station, so there's a lot of foot traffic and many pedestrians at risk here. This attack left 14 people injured, 12 of which were very serious. And sadly, there is one death from the incident. 9 of them were injured with his knife. The other 5 were injured because of the car. Police quickly apprehended the suspect, and a rapid drug test conducted on him came back negative. Now, the suspect did, however, show symptoms of a persecution complex. For those who don't know, a persecution complex is an irrational or delusional belief that other people are trying to harm or conspire against you. Delusions can be defined as fixed or irrational belief. People with a persecution complex often have delusional beliefs that are fantastical or impossible in nature. This morning, his identity was released to the public as 22-year-old Che Won-jong. Now, one of the biggest concerns and the biggest worries of these incidents is that they've led to several dozens of people making copycat threats online. About an hour after the rampage, 2 copycat crime threats were posted online. The first post rapidly circulated online at around 6:40 p.m. to go on a rampage near Ori Station. Another threat in Bundang. The second incident already happened in Bundang between 6 p.m. and 10 p.m. last Friday to, quote, kill as many people as possible. Now, the writer of this post said he chose that location because that's where his ex-girlfriend lived, and he no longer had the reason or desire to live. The second post with a photo of a weapon appeared on the internet around 7:09 p.m. threatening to stab 20 Hannams at Sohyun Station on Friday. A Hannam is like Hanguk Namja put together, Korean man. On Friday, the day after the incident, there were even more threats made online. One of them threatened to kill 20 people Friday morning at Jamsil Station, and another to go on a stabbing rampage at 10 p.m. on Friday at Hanti Station. Public fears have been growing as the Seoul area has seen 2 stabbing rampages in less than 2 weeks, and dozens of copycat crimes and threats were posted online. Now, as of this morning, today, filming this video, the police have said that they have 59 apprehended suspects who made similar copycat posts online. Most of these posts were uploaded between Thursday night and Saturday on websites such as DC Inside, which is a leading Korean internet forum, and even on Twitter. Now, if you guys have seen my videos before, DC Inside is something that's pretty familiar to you because a few months ago we did talk about how DC Inside is like a forum, and they also have a section called Depression Gallery, which was meant for people who are dealing with depression to talk with each other, encourage each other, support each other, and get through it together. But instead, it became a thing to make unalive packs, encourage other people unaliving themselves, and live streaming you unalive yourself. To prevent further tragedies from happening, police said they would beef up efforts in monitoring the internet and continue to work to track down authors of these posts. Police have launched a special team to deal with online murder threats. Also unrelated, but it did happen at a really scarily close time on Friday, August 4th. There was an incident in Daejeon where a 49-year-old teacher was stabbed at Daedok Godeunghakyo, Daedok High School. The teacher was reportedly stabbed in the face, chest, and arm. The 28-year-old male suspect was apprehended by police a few hours later. According to the police, the suspect, who seemed to have come from outside, went to the teacher's lounge and asked for the teacher's whereabouts. He entered the school under the guise of saying, "Oh, I used to go here, I just want to see this teacher, wanted to see what's up." After being told that the teacher was in class, the unidentified assailant waited outside the classroom for an hour. During the break, the attacker followed the teacher to a bathroom and the teacher. The teacher is reportedly unconscious as of me filming this. So what does all this mean? What's the fallout? What are the repercussions? I would love to know how you guys feel about these incidents in the comments. I wasn't planning to talk about this because there's already been so much coverage, but I just feel like people aren't talking about the right things regarding these incidents. For example, it's only natural after seeing how random and frequent these attacks are becoming, people want to protect themselves. You know, maybe purchase some pepper spray or a taser. And over the years of making videos regarding women's safety in Korea, a lot of you guys have asked me, is pepper spray legal in South Korea? Are tasers legal in South Korea? Pepper spray is legal. It is legal as long as it doesn't contain like a pre-compressed gas, like a tear gas. You can't use that unless you have a permit in South Korea. But yes, it is absolutely legal to carry pepper spray around, but here's the kicker. Unfortunately, for example, say you're a girl, you're walking down the street at night and some guy tries to assault you and you fend him off successfully with pepper spray. The crazy thing is he can sue you for that.
What did he say?
South Korea does technically have self-defense laws, but it is also very easy to be punished for defending yourself if what you inflicted to the potential assailant is harsh or too much, I guess. I don't know, like it's a gray area to determine what was necessary and what wasn't. There have been people who have defended themselves in South Korea and got sued for it and lost. Now this I had to look up because I don't quite understand what it means. Tasers are illegal for civilian use. Korea requires a permit to manufacture, distribute, or purchase or carry an electroshock weapon, but any electroshock device with a projectile, and it says taser device in parentheses, are completely banned for civilian use. So from what I gather, and please correct me if I'm wrong, if it's one of those stun guns or tasers that shoots out into the person, that is completely illegal for civilians to use. But if it is one of those that you kind of have to jab onto them and you can like take away, like if it's and it doesn't leave things projected into them, then it's legal for you to use it. So as mentioned earlier in this video, a lot of people are complaining about how light and lenient Korean law tends to be on crime. Like in the Shillim, the guy had 17 incidents on his record already and was still out and able to commit further crime. It is actually very rare in Korea to be punished and get like life in prison without parole. So a lot of people worry that people will go out, make these threats, and follow through with them and feel like, oh, well, you know, the punishment won't be that hard. I'll still be out and able to live my life when I can get out. People are concerned with the simple fact that South Korea has the highest rate in the world of OECD nations. A lot of people feel like they have nothing to lose, they have nothing to live for, so why not do what they want before they go, which is pretty sad and demented. With all this going on, I do feel like there's a bigger and greater discussion to be had. I don't want to make these incidents about something that they're not, but to me, I feel like it's all connected. We know that gender issues are ever relevant in today's social climate. In Korea, for example, did you know the Barbie movie flopped because so many people were scared of being labeled a feminist? This video is not about feminism, I'm just making a point. Feminism means different things depending on who you ask. What does feminism mean to you guys? To me, feminism is women fighting for equal rights, equal respect, and equal opportunity. Men are not better than women, and women are not better than men. I've noticed that a lot of men feel like as women gain, they lose. They feel like they're losing rights, status, opportunity, power, control, and are being attacked simply for being men. They take it personally when a woman becomes equal, independent, selective, and more free. That's a discussion for a whole nother video, but I do find it interesting because nothing's been taken away from men. It's just that women are starting to have what they've always had, and I think they find it threatening or problematic. I mean, have you seen the way conservative men and traditional alphas respond to the Barbie movie and its success? Yeah. Men and women are different, but we are not less equal to each other. The reason I bring up feminism is because I don't think feminism is just a pro-woman thing. I think the overall goal for feminism is to make things easier for men as well. Men are under a lot of pressure because of the patriarchy. Let's be real, men are expected to make the most money, take care of the family, protect the family, be the breadwinner, never complain, never show emotions because that's somehow weakness. But like, why do you think women tend to outlive their male counterparts? And not to say that women don't go out and do these rampages too, but 9.9 times out of 10 is some young man facing a breakup or being fired or feeling like his life is worthless or just feeling angry and mad at the world and needing to take it out on random people because his life is hard. They unalive a girl for rejecting them. Men fear women will laugh at them. Women fear men will kill them. And people don't like to have these discussions, but I think we really need to have this discussion. Men need to be encouraged to talk openly and honestly about how they feel and about their emotions before it builds up to this hopelessness and they don't have any reason to live and they go on these rampages. And since we're talking about Korea, let's talk about the side. Now, depending on where you check specifically, because regionally every place is different, but on the whole, on average, men tend to be more suicidal than women. That's true for the United States, that's true for the UK, that's true for South Korea. Like, we know this is happening, but why don't we talk about why? Why don't we talk about the causes? Why don't we talk about mental health? I don't know, personally, I just feel like these days, women want to be seen as equal partners, to take the burden off of men, like to work together as a team, as a partnership. Now don't get me wrong, you do have those girls who still expect their man to pay for everything and take care of them. I'm not saying you don't have that. It's the same way a lot of men expect women to give up their careers when they get pregnant and have kids, stay home, cook and clean. Everyone is different. I'm not trying to put anyone under any sort of monolith. I know everyone still has different thinkings, opinions, and views, but I think on average, today there are more women who want to step up to an equal partnership than say in the 1950s. I just don't get why men tend to fight that thinking. It's like things don't have to be as hard as they are for you anymore, you know what I mean? Incidents like this happening more frequently. It's not a coincidence, it's happening for a reason. And you do have a lot of these guys, again, let's be real, they're mostly men who do this, and they give very similar reasons. I'm having a hard time, my life is hard, or they feel entitled to something they don't have. You know, people go out and they'll target women, for example, because they can't get a girlfriend or they don't have a partner. And they feel like they should. They feel like they're entitled to that. And not to say women don't have these same feelings and wants and desires, but women are so less likely to go out and act violently because of it, if that makes sense. I think given the nature of a lot of my videos, people tend to assume that I'm like some man-hating woman, and I am not. I love men, for better or for worse. I love men. I have a problem with the bad men. I have a problem with the shitty men and the assholes, the liars, the violent people. Those types of men I don't like. So I have a question of the day for you guys. Since my audience is mostly women, I wanted to ask you ladies how you feel when a guy you like, a guy you're with, your partner shows emotional vulnerability, they cry in front of you, they vent to you how they feel emotionally, if you like that or you don't like that. Because personally, I love that. If I'm with a guy and I never see them cry, that's kind of a red flag to me. Like the ex, never saw him cry. Not once. And I was on a date like 2 weekends ago where we were talking about what men and women want, and I mentioned how these days, in my opinion, I think women like it when their man shows vulnerability and shows their emotions. And he did not believe me. He did not see it that way. He said, no, because then you get called a pussy or they think you're soft and weak. And I'm like, no, not every woman feels the same. Like it is very different. So please help me out in the comments. Like, how do you feel about that? Do you like the vulnerability or do you prefer they keep it to themselves? Anyway, I am rambling. Thanks for watching. If you did, remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Annyeong.